Hi guys. Okay, welcome to my channel. If you are brand new, welcome back to my channel. If you are a subscriber, I'm so glad that you're here. I just had to do this stream today because last night, if you missed it, we went over a ridiculous worksheet that Bethany Beal says that she wrote. Literally, she says in a video that I posted into a that I did a criticism on last night. She says that she wrote this, came up with this questionnaire, and that she has used this when she and her husband, Dav, were thinking about getting married. She packaged it as 136 questions that you should ask while dating to get to know each other. And a lot of you, some of you who have recently found me through like Fundy Snark and Duggar Snark and all that kind of good stuff, said, hey, Katie, that looks super familiar. It reminds me of a list that Jim Bob Duggar was using and was posted in 2014 when it was made known that he had this really long 50-page worksheet that he had all of the suitors answer before he would allow them to court his daughters. So one of my subscribers was kind enough to link me to Free Ginger, which is a forum that was really, it's still active, but I would say it's not as active as it used to be with the advent of social media being more like clear. Like we have YouTube now, we've got Instagram. Like these older forums are not as active. They're more for anonymity. So it also could have appeared in Reddit. But like all of the Duggar girls have acknowledged this. Jeremy, when he was wanting to court, made his intentions so that he wanted to court Ginger, even talked about it on Counting On, that he had to answer all of these questions. And so the list was actually posted on Free Ginger in 2014. Now, I put together some side-by-sides so you can see what they've done is his initial thing is like 437 million questions, right? Hers is condensed down to 136. But she has a copyright at the bottom of her list. A copyright. It says 2020, all rights reserved. But she has taken word for word from this other source, which is actually plagiarism. Now, these two, Bethany and Kristen, pretend like they know everything, but they seem to repackage content that's already out there in the Fundy world and act like it's their own. Some of you have said, why are you so critical of Girl Defined? Well, because Bethany and Kristen have a very large platform of 152,000 subscribers on YouTube. And with that platform, they're teaching girls intolerance, obedience, submission, things that just in modern day America and modern world don't make sense. They teach intolerance of people that are not straight, narrow, hetero. It's toxic. And it's one of their focal points in their teaching is against the LGBTQ+. And this really, in this day and age, there's no place for that. We have come so far as a society to understand that this is a biological issue. It's not something people choose. It's not something anyone can change. And so I will use my platform to speak out against that kind of stuff. When others are using their platform to influence girls to think this way. Okay? So Bethany insists that she came up with this. I did the video last night and she literally said, I came up with this list. So here is what I'll show you. I'm going to show you the side by side. Okay. So here are the side by sides, and I'm sorry, I don't have enough space for my camera. So what I've done is I actually copied the list directly from Free Ginger's website. I'll link the original link for Free Ginger when we're done with this. But I've highlighted parts of here that are actually almost identical. So let me just get to... There's parts that are exact, verbatim, complete. Why does this keep doing this? So we want marital roles, morals. Okay. So there's this part right here. If you see personal relationships. Now she says, if you look at the bottom of the page, it says page 2, 2020, Girl Defined Ministries, all rights reserved, okay? But look at this. This list on the side next to it actually comes from Free Ginger, posted on Free Ginger in 2014, and is the exact list that Jim Bob Duggar has his suitors answer for courting. On it, you can see it's like verbatim. Describe your personal relationships with your father. Was it honoring? How many siblings do you have? How many siblings do you have? What are their ages, names, cities, residencies? So you see 66 and 67 are directly ripped off. She ripped off 70. She rips off the questions about grandparents, friends, about relationships with their grandparents, being manipulative of others. I mean, how do you handle anger? What kind of situations cause you frustration? It's directly taken from this list. So she's basically repackaged this, but she's not even doing it in a way where you can see that she's actually, describe your relationship with your father. And she changed it to dad. And she wrote, is it honoring? And she dropped the, are they obedient? And then, can you describe your relationships with your friends? Have you ever been peer dependent? Have you ever been a supervisor? It's right there. Have you ever been a supervisor? If so, what adjectives would your employers use to describe you? If so, what adjectives would your employees use to describe you? Are you ever manipulative of others? Number 78, are you never manipulative of others? What kinds of situations cause you anger? It's ridiculous. Then, when we get to their, I think this is moral standards. Oh, marital roles. So on marital roles, it's the exact same thing. Do you tend to be more of a leader or follower? 115 is the same. In making decision, what roles does God's word play? What is your attitudes towards women? What is their purpose? What is their view of role of women in your life? Mind you, again, this came out in 2014, was posted on Free Ginger's website. Now, they don't ask all of the same questions because she's condensed it, but you can see that she's taking from all of these different things. Like, what are your attitudes around adoption? Are you honest? These are all from that same list. Can you tell me your thoughts on how should a man protect his wife and children? Can you tell me your thoughts on how a man should provide for his wife and family? All questions on here. It's weird. What are your attitudes about family worship? What are your thoughts on family worship? Oh, what are your thoughts on family worship? When you fail someone, what actions do you take to rectify the situation? Are you honest? Do you ever slant the truth for your benefit? It's like word for word she's taken this. What about leave and cleave? What does leave and cleave mean to you? Are you prepared to put your wife first before all others, including your parents? Give me an example of what that may look like. This whole thing is ripped directly from there. And then moral standards. Do you watch R-rated videos? Do you watch television, R-rated movies, PG movies? What is the last movies you watched? That's exactly ripped off from 154. What kind of music do you prefer? What kind of music do you prefer? What kind of would you find offensive? It's so obviously plagiarized. It's ridiculous. And she's passing this off as though she came up with this directly. Even her future, look at this. The 6 questions they put down for your future comes directly from that list. And then the rest of them are all like littered throughout, but she's basically taken every single question that's on here. And she's picked and chosen which one she's wanted to be on here. And then she directs you to get to her book, Love Defined. But literally, every question she took from this 100, 400 and some odd questions that Jim Bob Duggar has all of his girls and suitors answering when they want to get in a relationship. It's kind of disingenuous to pass off other people's work as your own. Listen, I am not a fan of Jim Bob Duggar at all, but when you are putting out content and then you are copywriting that content and then you are saying that you came up with this, but we can literally find a list that was published in 2014 by Free Ginger that is the exact list that we know that Jim Bob uses for his kids when they court. It's plagiarizing. And it's theft of intellectual property. As ridiculous as this is, it's true. Now, I couldn't find an original source for where Jim Bob might have come up with this. I mean, he very well could have come up with this list on his own. Some of the questions I think were likely from the Institute of Basic Life Principles. And some of them were just questions that he came up with. But it's just absolutely ridiculous. Girl Defined consistently does this kind of crap. They take everybody else's thoughts, they say that they're their thoughts, and then they package them and they sell them to people who blindly follow them and act like it's their own. So Bethany wants you to believe that she crafted this whole worksheet. She and Dave did all of it herself. And all she's really done is she's condensed this 430 million questions down to 136 that she thinks are the most important in there. She hasn't put in a lot of the questions that are in there. I mean, he has a whole section about debt and credit card debt and financial debt and, you know, Baptist stuff, because they're not Baptists. They're like non-denominational evangelicals. So it's just, when it's so easy to find this information, you would think they would be smarter about doing this. You would think that they would be, you know, more thoughtful and more cognizant of the fact that in today's world, it's easy to Google things. And all I had to do was Google Jim Duggar's courting worksheet, and it came up under Free Ginger, and it's there. It's still there, posted from 2014. Let me see if I can actually find the website. I want to show you when this was published so you can see it. So here's the Free Ginger. Here's the Free Ginger website, okay? I just want you to see that this is actually where I got it from. Posted on February 21st, 2014. And you can see all the questions are posted here. Every single one of them. I basically just copied it into a worksheet that I could manipulate the coloring so you could actually see how they lined up. But I guarantee you every one of the questions comes from here. It's so ridiculous. It's so easy when you can find something this quickly. And their audience will not question this. Yeah. I mean, all the questions are absolutely lame. Like I said, I'm not a fan of either one of them, and I think both of these questionnaires are ridiculous and stupid, and you don't need to ask these questions because life changes and things change, and knowing whether or not your person has friends, a million friends or 4 friends, doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things as long as you guys like each other. So I'm not discounting the fact that these are stupid questions, but it's more that these women are using this and they're saying, we came up with this because we know that these are the questions you need to ask. And they literally ripped it off 100%, which makes me wonder if they've taken their books and ripped off other worship, like there's tons of all of these like devotionals you can buy, and that's kind of what they write. And it makes me wonder if they have repackaged devotionals written by other people as their own. It's lazy to do this, it's disingenuous, and it's plagiarism. All right, so tell me if you are surprised or not surprised. I want to thank my subscribers. Their audience, that's a good question. Jay asks, who is their actual audience? Their actual audience are girls. They typically are going for young girls that are in the sort of evangelical fundamentalist world. anywhere from teenagers, so 13 to sort of 20, early 20s, young teenagers to early young women that are looking to become married but aren't married yet, and sort of speaking to that single, young, faithful girl. So this is what I found. Thank you to my subscribers for pointing all of this out and directing this to me. I just wanted to put this out there because I want to put them on blast for doing this, because this is so stupid. If you want to come up with ridiculous ideas, at least, come up with them on your own, but don't pass off Jim Bob's hard work as your own. And I don't even like Jim Bob. Bethany, you are an intellectual property thief. At least that's how it seems to appear. All right, you guys, tell me what your thoughts are. Are you surprised or not surprised? Bye.